Disclaimer. At Two Addicts and a Moron, we discuss personal stories of addiction with the intention of being educational, relatable, and inspirational. The views and experiences shared are those of individuals involved, are not meant to glorify or condone any illegal or harmful behavior. This content is for educational purposes only and is not intended as professional advice. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, we strongly encourage you seek help from a qualified professional or support service. Episode 70 of Two Addicts and a Moron. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. And we got a very special guest in the house today. Came here straight from the gym. You can pretty much tell that. He's in such good shape. I'm insanely jealous of this man. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Austin O'Brien, everybody. Hey, thanks for coming, brother.
Welcome, man. I appreciate y'all having me on. It's an honor for sure.
No, dude, honor's ours, man. Thank you for stopping by, and we're just going to chop it up in here a little bit. And I hear you got a pretty not cool, but I hear you got a pretty intense story, so I'm excited to dig in. So forgive my ignorant questions, because you figured out here just about 5 minutes ago that I'm not an addict.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's all about perspective, right?
Yeah. Like we have to explain that a lot. Mm-hmm. I feel like everybody's like, "Wait, you're not an addict?" And I'm like, "No, I just the moron, right? Like I'm the moron." And then they're like, "Oh, okay, it makes sense." So they tie it all in together. But glad we could shed some light even on you for that. So appreciate you stopping by. So, brother, tell us. Well, let's start with this. How long you been sober?
So this go around, actually on the 11th of next month, it'll be 1 year.
Hey, let's go, dude. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. So multiple go rounds, huh?
I am of the slow variety.
Okay.
Learning disabilities in the program for sure.
Yeah. Well, look, dude, that's a common tale. I think a lot of people have that similar story. So glad you're here now, though. Man, that's huge. 1 year. You got any plans for the celebration on a 1 year? What do you do?
So actually this coming up weekend, the 25th, is my birthday. So I'm going to go see my son. And then, I got a spontaneous trip going out of town with my partner, and don't know where I'm going until I show up to the airport.
Nice. Nice. That's a solid partner, dude.
It is. Yeah, man. It's crazy and baffling that, like, when you fully surrender and like actually start doing this thing, work in the program, the things that come. And so, I mean, I'm just truly grateful for it.
Nice.
Yeah, those little miracles that you first hear about, that they talk about, the miracles that come with doing the steps and going through the program. And then, like, in the beginning, it's like, that's all bullshit, right? That. But then whenever you start seeing them happen, it's like, oh, this is the promises that the book talks about that I would actually see come to fruition. Yeah, it's awesome. What do you do whenever you celebrate your 30 days, 60 days, 90 days? Because something we always talk about is, like, a lot of people, I've heard a lot of people say, well, it's just 30 days or it's just 60 days. And my biggest thing that I always say is celebrate every one of those victories, because that's a big fucking deal. Like 30 days when I was using, I didn't think that was even possible. Like, there is no way. I can get about 5 or 6 days, but once that depression starts kicking in from being off of meth, and once those cravings and all those memories and all those things start coming to my head, and then that little devil starts telling me, I know how to fix this. I'm like, man, I'll go use quick. So I always tell everybody, make sure you celebrate those victories. Even if it's for that night, go celebrate it in a big day or in a big way. And then the next day, it's on to the next one, So what do you do when you hit your milestones?
Man, I mean, that is actually a great question. Like, I'm sitting here thinking, because if I sit there and get ahead of myself, then that plays a disservice too.
Sure.
That ego comes, and
For sure.
I got this. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's a little like mix of like that pink cloud as well.
Yeah.
Like, I'm separated from the drug, feeling good,
Yep.
get ahead of myself. And then, you know, that thought process, man, I'm good. You know, I'm cured. But to answer your question, like, you know, celebrate it with people around me that are doing the deal.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I got to do. And then thing is, the time doesn't matter. It really doesn't at the end of the day. It's quality over quantity in my eyes.
Yeah.
So, like, I had 3 years sober before this, and I burned it all to the ground in a matter of a month.
Yeah.
Quick. Yep.
Yeah.
And, like, what I've done in these last 11 months, like, I packed more into it than I did that 3 years.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if that answered your question, but
Surround yourself around other people.
yep.
Yeah, I think that's one of the best ways to do it. When I go get my chips, it's let's go out to eat, or let's go play pickleball, or let's go do something fun that we don't have to get messed up on, and we can just enjoy it, you know?
Well, and me being like an outside looking in guy to a lot of these people, I'll always tell them, I'm like, man, if you've got to celebrate every day, like, because every day is another day that you put in the books, right? Yeah. So you do whatever you have to do to keep it focused. If you got to break it down by the half a day or a day or
An hour.
an hour, dude, by all means, man, take advantage and honor yourself with a small little victory and a little bit of a treat for yourself, because straight up, man, you guys have earned it. I mean, you have earned it in some of the biggest ways that I've ever heard in my life, man. So that's really cool. I'm glad to hear you say that. Now, what was the DOC?
Anything that makes me feel different or not feel anything.
Okay.
My disease is strictly, man, of more.
Yeah.
Like, I want more of whatever feeds my ego and makes me feel good.
Okay. Yeah, man. That's common tale too. I mean, I think you have one of the more unique ones where it was just meth was just it, right? No thirst or hunger for anything else but that. You get a lot of people that come in here and say that. They're like, dude, what you got? Like, in the great words of Steven, came in here and said, he's like, what you got, man? Like, I'll do it.
It's funny when people would used to say, you want some Coke? I'd be like, ugh.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. That's terrible. Yeah.
I will speak on like what, you know, finally made me feel normal. And that was pain pills.
Yeah.
I'm from the Houston area, so that that epidemic, the early 2000s and then 2010s, affected a lot of my friends.
Yeah.
Because the doctor shopping and everything, it was just so affluent. And yeah, that's definitely like, oh, this is how it feels to be normal. And my, you know, feel really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that, I mean, it doesn't get talked about near enough, but that epidemic and the doctor hopping and the pill mills and all of that, just how accessible all these dangerous things, just how many addictions were birthed out of that is nuts. So
Big pharma in general. But yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I have so going in more depth about it with my childhood, like, you know, the Ritalin epidemic.
for sure.
I was put on ADD meds at first grade.
Yeah.
And so like that whole thing, thinking about like on the drive over here, like how I could put it, but like I was on that all the way up consistently until I was 18.
Yeah.
And I lost out on a lot of life lessons emotionally because I was numb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then whenever I sat there and like finally found pain pills when I got off ADD meds, then those feelings hit me when I went to treatment for the first time, and I didn't know what I was feeling
Right.
at all.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm the slow variety.
Right.
It's been bouncing in and out for 14 years.
Yeah. I mean, that makes a lot of sense because I believe I have ADD. I think I always had it. My mother, who is one of the smartest people that I know, like she's a brilliant person, did not get a silly, class clown kid like me. She was taking me to like, all these different places. Well, it got thrown out at her, from what I understand, to maybe he needs some medication and she was like, that's not happening. Like, this is up to you, teachers or whoever, educators, to get him honed in and get him to figure it out. Right. But it probably was one of the bigger gifts that I ever got, was like my mom just being like, nah, he's just got to figure this shit out. Right. Like, and I've got to figure this out with everybody around. So that makes a lot of sense, how he talks about it all the time, how his growth stunted when he got really bad into addiction, right? But when you're in first grade and you're just becoming a zombie in school till 18, your emotional growth was severely stunted at a very early age. So when it came time for you to start feeling things, it was probably like, what's happening right now? That makes a huge amount of sense. So that was actually bridging into my next question for you, was like, how do you feel like it started? But I think we just kind of got our answer there. So talk about how that progressed after the Ritalin.
So a group of me and my friends, after football games, growing up in Katy, Texas, football's real big.
Yeah.
Like sitting there playing a game and then going to party after. That was the thing to do.
Yeah.
And so I started drinking. I was a guy with the fake ID. Like, I started growing this beard when I was like 15.
Yeah, dude.
I'd have to go down to the principal's office and shave with a single blade. Fun times. But we would drink, man. Like, and football was always a big part of my life. I started playing when I was in second grade, full contact, and then also baseball. But what changed was I quit caring about the football and more about the party after.
Yeah.
And so what I realized later on when I went to college, because I started drinking and got off the ADD meds, but I hated the drinking.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know what it was. That drinking actually come down from the ADD meds and the body tension. And so it relieved that. So I started noticing that, and then I ventured off into marijuana, and then the pain pills came in because I didn't want anybody to know that I was under the influence, because I would go to class. I was able to do that. I wanted to be functional.
Right.
I call it being high undercover.
Right.
So the marijuana, you would smell like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Especially
you get
back
pulled
then.
over,
Yeah.
you're at higher risk.
Physical repercussion
Yeah.
to getting busted.
Probable cause.
Yep. So, I mean, the mental shift, I saw it in high school. Like I went from not liking the ADD meds, sitting there jamming Metallica on the way to school in my car and getting a pump from it. So,
Right. Nice.
Yeah.
That's wild that you say that. So, do you ever, when did it take you, is that something that you learned when you were sober? Like you look back at those moments in high school where, because you're not picking up on that then, right? You're just like, oh, this is just normal party, ritualistic lifestyle. But, God, that's got to be a wild, those got to be wild epiphanies to like come to, where you're looking at it now from this completely different lens back then. And you're like, of course.
There's aha moments that you didn't realize then.
Right.
Like I know the first time, looking back now, the first time that I realized like I had an addiction. And it was because I was going through withdrawals from not doing meth for a few days. And I thought I had flu. And I was like, man, I'm fucking real sick. And my buddy was like, You just need to smoke some more and it would go away. You're going through withdrawals. And when he said that, I didn't think twice about, holy shit, I got an addiction. I just thought I needed some medicine, and I smoked, and I felt better, and I was like, oh, then I just won't. I don't ever want to feel like that again. So I'm just gonna never stop smoking, right? But looking back now, I remember that specific day and who was there, and I'm like, that's the day that I realized that. Now looking back, I realized, damn, I had a problem, but I didn't know it then. I just thought I had a headache and I needed to take some aspirin.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's funny you say that because if nobody would have told me I was in withdrawals, mentally I wouldn't be sitting there harping on that.
Yeah.
I would just think it's another day I'm sick.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So sports, pretty big deal for you. Did you play in college or?
No. Priorities changed.
Yeah.
So the work ethic there. Yeah, and it plays in the disease, man. Like, you want that immediate gratification. So I feel like a lot of us stem from like not wanting to put in the long-term work, the hard work. We want a fast, quick solution. So
Path of least resistance, right?
absolutely.
Yeah. That's kind of what the drug always is. It's that conduit, right? That conduit of the path of least resistance to change the way that you're feeling. And it's pretty fucked up. It's pretty fucked up. And like even me, I never had a drug issue or anything like that, but I can do that now. Look at moments that might have affected the way that I act inappropriately or otherwise to this like one moment when I was like bullied in school or like ousted by a friend group or, you know, something that made me feel really bad. And it was like, okay, now I just need to adapt what it is that I'm feeling to and that can come in the way of humor. That could come in the way of like inappropriate humor.
Right.
You know, the shocking things that you say that will get people to like you or gravitate towards you. So, and I'll never get what it is to run to the drug. I won't pretend to, but I do get those feelings, right? They suck. They suck real fucking bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, bridging into a point where you knew that there was a problem. How old were you when you figured out like, oh shit, I actually have a real problem here?
I knew it was a real problem. So I would go home, visit my family in Katy, because I went to school in San Antonio at a community college. And, you know, I go home and then, you know, got to get back to San Antonio because I'm running low. And, you know, like I flipped my truck on I-10 going about 70 overcorrected. And, you know, the crazy thing is, like, so I wasn't under the influence or anything. I was upside down, and then I kicked my way out the window. There was a dumbbell in my car.
Holy shit.
That a pin at that speed could kill me if it would have hit me in the head.
Yeah.
But all I could think was, what can I say to have the ambulance sit there and give me pain medication to get out of withdrawals?
Whoa.
Yeah. Very, very, like, I was like, whoa, man, like, this is, like, I am out of my mind. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah. And it was right there in that moment?
Yeah, it was a big wake-up call.
Yeah. And how old were you at that point?
I was about 21, 22 years old.
Okay. And so going into, how did that bridge you into, was that a bridge into trying to get yourself right at that point? Or was it just like, I'm going to keep riding the train?
Well, that aha moment only lasts for a little while.
All right.
And then, you know, I got to go get right.
Right.
So, no, I still had some things to burn down before getting there.
Okay.
So what really happened was getting that big insurance check for my truck, and that sped up the process a little bit to get me into treatment for the first time.
Okay. When did you go to treatment for the first time?
So when I was 22 years old, 2011.
Okay. And
Did you go willingly or did someone make you go?
No, it was a dictated low.
Yeah.
That's what I call it.
Yeah.
dictated low.
Yeah.
All right. So talk about that experience, the first time.
Man, so my place got broken into in San Antonio because of some things that I was doing. And then I ended up leaving. It was summertime anyways, and went back to Katy. And, like I always had a thing that I would not try a harder opiate than Vicodin.
Yeah.
And I had an uncle that actually passed away from heroin and HIV.
Wow.
So, like, it was a very big thing. Like, it was a big thing that bothered my family. So I always said, I'm not going to do that. I'll never do that. And that, like, that's the typical thing that I'll never cross that line.
Yeah.
And I don't need to go into more detail about that, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time, man. That goalpost moving,
Yeah.
right? There's 100 things I won't do when you go into it. And then a couple years down the road, there's 50 things that I won't do.
To get high.
And then when you start getting to that low, it's okay, there's like 3 things that I won't do. I've heard it a lot. I've heard it with him, so we know exactly what you're.
There's probably 3 things I wouldn't do at the end of my drug addiction. And if I would have stayed in it for another year of suffering, probably wasn't anything that I wouldn't have done.
Yeah.
Right.
Just to make myself feel better, to make myself not sick.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get that 100%.
And so that bridged you into a treatment for the first time?
Some loved ones found me just, to a normal person when you're falling asleep while sitting up.
Yeah.
That's not normal.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I ended up going to treatment my first time out in Houston at a place called Memorial Hermann Park. And did that, graduated top 10% of my class.
Yeah.
That's like where my ego would go with it. Like, oh, dude, I'm killing it in treatment.
Yeah. This is
killing it, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and then went to a sober. Oh man. So I did.
That's so true. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I graduated 291 and 291 out of 291 in high school, but I graduated top 10 in fucking recovery, baby. Rehab, I fucking number 5.
You got those guys that are like going around in treatment, like getting everybody going, like, like holding people accountable and like while still doing some shady stuff on the side.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man, like promoting it, but like not attracting it by your actions.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the people we meet there, dude, like, oh, man, I used to be like, oh, dude, I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
Like, now I am that guy.
Yeah.
But a lot worse.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, we got to find humor in this stuff, man. Like, or else, keep it light, or else it will eat our lunch, man, I feel like. But, like, yeah, dude, in treatment, like, sitting there, holding people accountable, and then, like, we all have rackets. And what I found out later on, and I'll talk about that in some of my more treatment stints.
Yeah.
But, like, you always got that guy that cooks or the girl that cooks or the funny one you spoke on.
Yeah.
But, like, all that is to mask what you're dealing with while you're in treatment.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, mine came in the form of harsh aggressive accountability. Because those ADD meds, and then I'm a middle child of a 3-boy family. So like that compassion and empathy part wasn't really like there.
Yeah.
And then you throw like competitive sports in there too. So, and then ADD meds like losing out on like learning that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was me in treatment, man. And then, you know, go to sober living. And then I ended up having an opportunity to go to a program to get a diploma in personal training and fitness, which launched my fitness career. And so did that, man. And yeah, dude, that thought comes back, man, you might have just been lonely in college. You know, you might, this happened, that happened, you know, you cheated on in high school. Like, you know, maybe that was the reason why I was doing that, which is all the lies of the disease.
Right.
I don't need to go to meetings anymore.
Yeah.
Making good money, having a lot of success. And then before you know it, man, you're off to the races again.
Yeah. Watch it slip away.
Yep.
All
That
right.
ego, dude.
Ego's a motherfucker, right?
Yep.
Like it's a terror. And I always say there's a fine line between pride and ego. And it's very good to be proud, right? It's very good to be prideful, but being egotistical is not so good, right? And that line can get pretty blurry, you know, and especially for guys like yourselves who have to go back to do the work all the time. That's it's, you guys are some of the best at separating that, you know, when you get into recovery, when you're really attacking it, making that line less blurry for yourselves is a big deal. Because the fact of the matter is we're dudes. We just said it. We're all competitive guys. We want to win, right? So the ego is never going to go away. It's just learning how to recognize and check it when it is, you know, and having the balls to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's hard. That's really, really hard.
My ego is always a facade. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Yeah. My ego is to cover all the fucking insecurities that I have, because I have a lot of them.
Yeah.
So my ego is like, people that meet me probably think, man, he's the most confident person that I've ever met, but I'm fucking really not. It's just I act as if, and that's my ego, and I have to keep it in control for sure. Otherwise, I will think that I'm too good and I know everything, and I've figured this thing out when I really haven't figured anything out. I'm literally just figuring out life at 45 years old, like for real. You know, it's like what you said. Whenever you started with Adderall in first grade, and you went through all your childhood without learning certain things, I always say that my learning stopped at 32, and I didn't start learning again until I was 42. Like that whole time when I was using drugs, I had to go back to when I was 32 and start learning shit again.
Yeah.
You know, because I didn't learn anything during that time except how to get high, and like the emotions and things that I should be able to deal with in certain ways. I didn't know how to deal with them. So I had to go back and learn, like losing people. I had to learn how to deal with that without getting high at someone's funeral, you know? So yeah, I get that. But yeah, my ego is just a big front, huge front. That's all that is.
It's fear driven, man. It protects. Yeah. So I like that, man. Like 100%. And if I look back in first grade, the type of trouble I was getting in, my favorite outfit was cowboy boots and sweatpants. And I loved kicking kids down the slide.
All right.
Because it's that fear-driven, like, want to be on top.
Yeah.
You know, and the competitive edge and, like, I'm top dog.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to get you before you get me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. So you graduate at the top of the class in a rehab stint that didn't work. So
I'll I don't like using it. Didn't work
yeah,
because all the
Okay.
stints I had added up. Things, it's a long game.
right.
You learned a little bit here, a little bit there, a little
Yep.
bit there.
Chipping at long-term sobriety.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah.
So you get out. How long did it take you after your first stint in rehab to get back on the train, as it were?
So actually, I had a year sober. Not long at all. I ended up going back to the same place, and then I did that another time too. So I did their inpatient, PHP, and IOP all 3 times, and then I ended up going to a place called La Hacienda, and I used that to my advantage for like my loved ones in my life. Like, what's insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, going to the same treatment center.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to go to La Hacienda.
Right.
And then I wanted to go to a long-term men's treatment too. So that manipulation side, man, like we're some of the smartest people because those character defects that we had, that their survival skills actually suit us while we're in our addiction. And then they come out when we get sober, but you can utilize them for good if you have good intentions.
I always say it. You guys are some of the most resourceful people outside of using. You just figure out now a way to make it for good and not evil, right? Like grinding and the stories that you hear for people like trying to beat a drug test or you know, the tangled web that just gets weaved, you know, and then you figure all that out and be like, well, you never lose that. You're never going to lose the resourcefulness that you had while you were on drugs.
That grind or that hustle.
That grind, that hustle, the making something out of nothing, you know, and it blows me away. Like it seriously blows me away for a lot of you guys. Like I'll sit back and watch at some of the things that recovered addicts create, and I'm just like, you're amazing. Like you're amazing. You just figured out a way to channel it in a much healthier and better way. You know,
The legal way.
the legal way.
Yep.
So you said 3 stints total?
Oh, no, that was just the beginning. Man.
Oh, okay. So how many? Fuck out of here. So how many stints? Let's do that.
So after La Hacienda, I went to a program, all men's treatment up in Carbondale, Colorado,
Okay.
for 9 months. And I just want to make it very clear right now, I graduated all my programs,
Yeah.
you know? So top 10%.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Attaboy.
Wrong with everybody. Don't they see that? My family and everything. Yeah. It's like, these are the things you should have been doing a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's that insanity, man. But no, Carbondale, Colorado, 9 months. Great program. Can't say enough about that. It was about having fun in recovery.
Yeah.
Like learning how to do that. So did that. Ended up burning it down up there. I was up there in the Roaring Fork Valley for about 4 years. And then, yeah, man, got a phone call one day after a weekend, let's just say a weekend resort stay somewhere. And my parents ended up getting me a hotel, all right? And I was like right after, I was like, oh, they're finally understanding, you know? So I go in, I go to the hotel, and I get a phone call from my life coach. It's like, hey, you either go to this 2-year program out in Kaufman, Texas, or you hit the road. And I was pissed. And, the immediate, like, no, I'm not doing that. Hang up the phone. And then about 2 hours later, accepted it. and left Colorado the next morning and went straight into treatment in Kaufman, Texas, a place called Burning Tree Ranch, 2-year program, and which I was, dealing with your favorite substance at the time for a while, and that was a very dark place. I'm sure you can relate.
100%.
Some of the people you end up running around with, it's not a good scene, and there is some trauma based stuff that was dealt with that, and like it's a very get you before you get me kind of thing.
Yeah.
100%.
And so, didn't do a detox this time. Went straight into, a high accountability place.
Okay.
And
When you came off of that, how was because everybody's different on their withdrawals that they have from that.
Yeah.
Like mine was very depressing. I was like not suicidal, but I never understood suicide, people committing suicide. But the depression that I would go through coming off of meth for like the first 2 weeks, I remember I used to say, man, if people really deal with this on an everyday basis and they feel like this all the time and they can't escape it, I still don't get it, but I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, fucking, I can't do this anymore. I would go through really depressing. Like, I remember my first week in rehab. I went there 13 days sober, I think, so I was just now coming out of it. But the first day there, we watched fucking Transformers. And when Bumblebee gets beat up, I've seen Transformers 1,000 times. I know he's not going to die.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there just fucking crying because Bumblebee just got his ass whipped and no one helped him. Look, I'm almost crying right now. But that's the depression. I could get a week sober, but man, once that depression start kicking in, I was like, I can't fucking handle that. I can only sleep for so long. I can only fucking, and then if I'm trying to sleep through it, then I'm trying to take Xanax to be able to go back to sleep. So then really I'm substituting one thing for something I fucking hate, which is pills. And then, people say, go take Kratom. Kratom will help. Well, Kratom did help, but then now I'm addicted to Kratom. I fucking don't want to get off of Kratom. So when you came off of that, what kind of what was your withdrawal experience?
So with that, I tried countless times to get off that.
Yeah.
Whether it was intentionally or unintentionally when I was in Colorado.
Yeah.
The worst, I wouldn't say it's so physical like opiates. It's more mental.
Mental, right.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't have aches and pains.
I had a little bit of that.
Did you?
Tried out joints.
Maybe I did a little bit on joints. But you know what? I did because I went to the doctor because I was like, man, I'm fucking knees hurting, backs hurting, necks hurting. Not bad, but a little bit. And I was thinking, I wonder if it had always been hurting, but I was using so much drugs that I didn't realize it. But mine was definitely mental. Like fucking, I was a mental case for a minute.
Psychosis, man.
Yeah.
And like before I even got to that point, it's just like, that feeling when you like want to go to sleep, but it's not allowing it like stops like being pleasurable, man. Like to where it's the disease. Like, why am I doing this? Like, it's not even I know I'm going to go into psychosis, but I still can't control not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that it'll be different.
I would wake up in the middle of the night and go smoke a meth pipe to go back to bed.
Yeah.
That, like most people do meth to stay awake. I was doing it to be able to fall back asleep because it didn't work anymore, right? But I was so used to always hitting a pipe, always hitting something. So when I would wake up, and then I'd go back to sleep. And literally that's, it just didn't even make any sense anymore. But my mind was so programmed to every time I take a break at work, I got to go smoke. Every time I wake up, I can't even go without, like you mentioned when you went to your family's house and you were trying to get back to San Antonio because you were running low. I didn't go to family's house because I wasn't going to run out over there. Then I'm fucked. Now I got to do a 4-hour trip back. So yeah, that mine was definitely, I would say 95% mental, and the rest was a little physical.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that one's a hard one to. I've never been addicted to other stuff. I know, like when people come off opiates, I seen people in rehab that I felt terrible for them because their fucking body ache had. I mean, they were like rolling, tossing, turning, crying, not being able to sleep. I was able to go to sleep, but my mental when I was awake was like just thinking about all the things that I did and all the bridges I burned. And now when I start getting sober, I want to leave rehab to go fix those problems because now I'm a little bit more clear-headed.
Yeah.
But you can't. You got to sit in it and just fucking just let it get you. Just let it get you and learn some shit from it.
Yeah, the shame-based anxiety is real.
Yeah.
And then it also turns into what I call shebanger, shame anger.
Oh, okay.
Shebanger, I like that.
Shame, anger. Yeah.
So when I got into Burning Tree, high accountability, not allowed to take naps. You know, you're mowing lawn with a push lawnmower and it's on a cattle ranch. And man, like we'd have confrontations and it's progress based. So they don't let you know when you're going to be moving on to the next phase.
Yeah.
So when I went in there, I was in a psychosis that lasted for months. And I was dealing with, and it's funny that you bring up that sitting there watching a movie. I'm trying to remember what movie it was, but it's with Shia LaBeouf where he's a moonshiner.
Yeah. Lawless.
And you know the scene when you know the guy comes to the bar and then like tries to do something on the bartender girl, and then they ended up like later on driving up and finding them.
Yep.
Yeah, so dude, I was like, I can't take this.
That's an intense movie, man.
I can't take this. And there were some things that transpired in Colorado. For some reason, my car keys kept coming up missing.
Yeah.
And I would always have to track it down. And, you know, with that substance, man, like it's always watching over your back.
Yeah.
So I actually was robbed at gunpoint in my house. Like they came in and did that. And I was so far gone in my disease that I was like, pull the trigger. And they didn't. But, and then grabbed my car keys and ran out. But yeah, the trauma behind it and that shame-based anxiety. And the thing is, my character defect came out like while I was in treatment, and it was anger-based. But here's the kicker. They gave me a teddy bear, all right? Therapeutic intervention, and I had to carry that teddy bear around everywhere.
Oh, dude.
And I couldn't go to cook crew, couldn't leave it unattended. Like I would have to find a babysitter
For your teddy bear.
and I couldn't even name it. They named it Bartholomew.
All right.
So what I learned, and I had it for like 3 months, and dude, I did it perfect, man. You know, I'm top 10%.
Yeah.
Just keep reiterating that.
Yeah.
And they had me on my chore, man. Like they had me ironing tablecloths. Because the tough guy doesn't do that, right?
Right.
Yeah. Tough guys don't carry teddy bears and iron tablecloths. For sure.
What I learned from that, though, man, was I'm not angry. I'm actually sad.
Yeah.
And that I use that anger to mask what I'm really feeling. Goes back to that fear base.
Yep.
And as a man, we're taught that we don't show that side, right?
Sure.
And so it's more empowering and more comfortable to sit in anger than that is to actually sit in something I'm not, used to feeling.
For sure.
And getting in tune with my emotions and learning that. So I was put on some medication that helped me throughout the process. And yeah, it was a Burning Tree Ranch is a love-hate relationship.
Yeah.
We would have shutdowns to where like guys had to go change into dress attire, shave your beard, tuck everything in, and then we had an arch. Like, so the chairs would be like that, and the hustle would always be to get the corner seat because they all had to be touching, so you can spread your legs more.
Yeah.
But we would sit there for majority of the day, and the therapist, showing true love, the accountability would, call people out to go up to the front and literally call you out on what you're doing. And they don't let you know how long that's going to go for. That's every day. I think the longest one I was in was like 8 days straight.
Wow.
So, and then like no talking for the first 48 hours, even in the dorms, like a lot of reflection. Ended up staying in there for inpatient for about 14 months. And it taught me patience. Like it taught me I've got to work for things. Like it taught me a lot of great lessons other than the side of the disease. And then went to the sober living, which was the last phase. And then that's out in Dallas and Richardson. And graduated that program, but got a job. I was only able to make $15 or less. They don't let you make more than that when you're living there. They don't want you to get things back real fast. But I worked as a walking partner, which is essentially an assistant for PT and OT at a hospital out in Dallas. Did that 2 years, like during COVID. So I worked on all levels and trauma, all of it, like brain aneurysms, people in comas, and like we would have to get people up and move them around, overdoses.
Yeah.
And like seeing that like was eye-opening, but it was a very giving job. Like it was very, like I enjoyed it.
Rewarding.
Yeah, very, very rewarding. And it was another set of tools to put into like what I do career-wise now, fitness. And so like that's still like seeing those people in that shape from drug overdoses was still not enough to keep me from picking up again.
Was it that's not going to be me type shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would never be me.
I worked with I remember when I retook control of my life, I was working with the patient, and he had a bad case of COVID and the after effects, and he didn't have long. But he told me, "You seem like a pacifist." And if you would tell anybody that knew me in the past, they'd be like, "Dude, that is not Austin."
Yeah.
And then that pride, like that's not acceptable. Like that people see me that way, but that's a psychic change. That's a change that I should have looked at that as a good thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I got very upset about that and bitter. And then that's when I picked up, which started with Kratom. It's holistic, man.
Yeah, yeah.
It's holistic. And then, so
Off to the races. So I want to ask you a question, because it seemed like you went from one treatment that was fun-based into something that was far less, like one right after the other. So I've heard tales of intense spots, and I've heard tales like yours, the worst boys,
Real chill.
real fun-based, teach you how to operate and have fun without using style, like what you described. Which one do you feel like is more beneficial or better? Or did you, or maybe even this, do you feel like you did it in the wrong order of each other, or because I feel like there's
Great
like
question.
there's kind of like there's like levels. You know what I mean? Like I think that both are important, but in the pantheon of getting, which one would you say? Because I think I know the answer to that. You're pulling great stuff from both.
Yeah, for sure.
But do you think it should have been done in reverse?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So like I've had this thought before.
Yeah. Okay.
Like what if they joined and they were one entity? Like,
Right.
and then straight up like do the high accountability, then you graduate, go up to Colorado and have fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, so the program I went to in Kaufman and then Jaywalker Lodge up in Colorado, like it was known that if you didn't make it there, you're going to Burning Tree.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, no, I kind of feel like they would be reversed, but that wasn't my path.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just kind of hearing it, it feels like it should be the intent stuff first. You get those tools, then you go to the fun place.
In a perfect world.
Yeah. In a
If I had my own will.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Like if I had it my way, but no. And it's also knowing your audience. So, you know, like I had a buddy that literally could not talk when he got to Jaywalker and he was 18 years old. And he literally told me one day he's want to be a lawyer. And I was like, all right. Like, and he was one of my closest friends.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, we didn't talk for 10 years because I was still doing my thing. Ended up like on this last time, like when I relapsed, got in touch with him. He reached out to me and literally told me he's living in Miami and he's a lawyer.
No shit.
He's got 10 years sober, dude.
Oh,
Over
man.
10 years.
Good for him.
Yeah. It's really like, dude, this thing, like, cannot prejudge at all. People are at their own pace, and what works for me might not work for
Yeah,
the other O'Brien over there. So,
Yeah. for sure.
Right.
Everybody's definitely different. I know that if I would have went to rehab earlier in my addiction, I would have been to multiple rehabs because I just wasn't ready. You know, when I went to the rehab that I went to, I was at a point where I was ready. I was ready to change, do whatever I had to do, and figure this thing out. But if you would have tried to send me to rehab on year 3 or year 6, I would have been kicking and screaming.
Yeah.
And I would have went with the intent that I'm not an addict. I don't have any fucking problem. And when I get out of here, the first thing I'm going to do is get high. That I guarantee. My company sent me to a outpatient rehab, and that's exactly what I did. I was a great student in the rehab, and that lasted. I didn't even stay sober during the month that I went to that. I found a way to blow 2 piss tests, and then of course I don't know how that shit got in my system. I haven't been using that whole lie shit and like really thinking they believe me. Like they've heard this 1,000 fucking times. But yeah, I think definitely depends on where you're at in your addiction. That's a huge thing. And then, you know, if you're at that point to where you've already hit your rock bottom, or if, you know, I have a friend that always says you can't steal someone's rock bottom from them. You know, you can't steal someone from their journey. You got to let them go on their journey. And even though you're trying to pull them back, like don't, you got to let them go. And maybe my sponsor always says, maybe you haven't had your ass kicked enough.
yeah.
And you need to go get your ass kicked some more. That's what my sponsor always says.
Playing God a little bit.
Yeah.
Robbing people of their experience.
Yeah. Don't rob them from their experience or their journey. Yep.
That's a life lesson for anything.
Yeah.
You know, like let them do it on, you know.
Yeah. And it sucks when you love the person too, because it's like, fuck. You know, I went through it with my nephew. You know, I feel like I have a blueprint. It might not work for everybody, but there's some do's and don'ts in there. That there's definitely a lot of don'ts in there. And I feel like I'm trying to pass this on to you and you're not going about it. So then I'm trying to play God and be like, why the fuck aren't you doing, this and that, where I just had to let him go and let him go experience, get his own experience and go his own journey, and that's hard to do.
Yeah, and then you get hit with the ego part too. Like, why am I not be able? Like, why can't I save him?
Yeah. What
Yeah.
did I do wrong? Yep. Yeah, for sure.
So what made it stick? Last time, this time, what ended up being the thing that, as you put it earlier, to truly surrender? And
That's a real big touchy subject.
okay,
Like, I have a lot of fear behind that, but a lot that transpired from my previous relationship, and then I have a 3-year-old boy, most amazing boy in the world.
yeah.
Couldn't have asked for a better son.
better
Like, all I
gift.
wanted was a healthy child.
Yeah.
And it surpasses that.
Yeah.
So, like, it got dark.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way, real fast. And, everybody that was in my life literally didn't rob me of my experience.
Did not
did
rob
not.
you. Yeah, they let you do it.
Mm-hmm. And I was in victim mentality.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a lot to lose. And what I did, I hadn't done for 7 to 8 years when it comes to. But I had like 5 things transpire in a matter of a month, man. And more than that. And my house ended up getting flooded, and then other things too. But what I look at now, like, I'm truly grateful for it that no one came and saved me,
Yeah.
because I had to do it on my own. I had to find a place to go for detox treatment, and I did that all on my own.
Skin in the game.
And I left everything, all my belongings, and took an Uber out here to Austin, and actually went to Renewal Lodge out here in Austin. So did that, and then that high accountability I thought I was going into, but just things started aligning. Like a guy that actually I met through Jay Walker, John Bruna, who was mindfulness and recovery. He wrote a book on it. It was part of the curriculum. And that first week I was there, he was at Renewal Lodge.
Okay.
And I was like, what is going on, dude? So I talked with him a little bit, and I found out some news about my life coach that I never got to make amends to, that like called me. And I didn't thank him for any of that. Like, he's no longer with us.
Oh man, sorry about that.
But there was a lot of meditation, a lot of inner child stuff. There was still that accountability, but it wasn't so like strict. And like, I had already had that. And that empathy, compassion, like, that's what I was needing. Like, because I had just lost everything.
Yeah.
And so, man, like, I went in there full-fledged, and I just let it all out. I didn't care what other people thought. But, like, just straight up let it out, man. And then I ended up going to a sober house and got a lot of great things out of it. And then I got on with a great company too. But the big change is, yeah, meat and makers make it till they don't. You got to actually like dive in and like get a service position and get involved in the community do things like this.
Yeah.
And it can't just be like when I get sober, like I try to do everything perfect. And then like that time comes and it's not perfect. I'm just like, fuck it. You know, like throw my hands up. Because I'm a perfectionist that never lived up to any perfection in my life.
Right. That's I mean, I feel like that's a pretty common tale.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, you know, if you're, I guess it's a mindset shift or mindset shift where it's like, I'm pissed because I'm not perfect, but then there'll be something like you just went through. Right. And now it's like, I can always strive to be it, but I'll probably never get there. And let go of that rein a little bit, right? Give yourself a little bit of a fucking break.
Yep.
And I think it sounds so simple, but it's not. It's not at all, man.
Yeah, you involve that shame aspect of it too. That puts up a higher standard on yourself. Like, I really got to get it right. And I use this analogy with a lot of people, all right? And it's goofy.
Yeah.
But, you know, Chinese handcuffs.
Yeah.
You know, you stick your finger in there.
Yeah.
The harder you try to pull your fingers out,
Yeah.
The harder it gets.
but if you just relax and do the right thing and move towards the right direction, your fingers come right out. And that's literally life right there.
Yeah. I went to church this morning and they were talking about shame. The service today was really good. But he was talking about, like, when you see a dog take a shit. He didn't say shit, but he said poop.
I wish he would.
Yeah, I wish he would have too. But he's hilarious. But he said when you see a dog take a shit, the dog walks off a few feet and then he scoops his feet to try to cover it up. He said the shame that we have, like, we're not dogs, we don't need to cover it up.
Right.
Like own it, live it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's one thing that not that you're supposed to do in sobriety, but I feel like for me, the biggest thing, like all the shit that I went through, I'm not shameful of it anymore. I'll happily talk about it because that's part of my recovery, right? And I want other people to hear, like, I've taken a shit on the ground too.
Yeah.
And I tried to cover it up too, but here I am being vulnerable, and I'll mention it and I'll talk about it. That way someone else that's watching this can hear it and say, oh, Stu took a shit on the ground too, and he tried to cover it up. So I think that that's how one way that I deal with my shame is there's a lot of shameful things that I did in my addiction, but I'm not ashamed about them even more because I know that I wouldn't do them now, right? Like, and there's things that I put my daughter through that I would never do now, but I'll happily talk about it, not because I'm happy or proud of it, but it's so I can let that shame go. Does it make sense?
A little bit of exposure therapy right there.
Yeah.
And like, I am truly grateful for, and the normal person, like, I'm grateful for my struggles.
Yeah.
So
As you should.
I have a choice. I can sit in victim mode and woe is me, or I can actually build from it. Like, Tom Brady has an awesome short online.
The greatest ever.
Well, I mean, I don't worship them. I don't, like, I go off of, like, actions, you know, how he didn't get, you know, he was like, don't get me going on stats or
199th pick.
Yeah, there we go. And he's one of the best quarterbacks to ever play, right?
The greatest, yes.
Yeah. All right, so you admit it.
I mean,
Yeah.
all day he'll say.
So you see a lot of first picks get drafted and then they fall out, right?
Right.
Because that ego gets huge and they got it.
Yeah.
But with Tom Brady, he had something to prove. So with me, like, using all that stuff can benefit and, like, help somebody else.
Yep.
And then just if I can't talk about this stuff, that shame's going to be there no matter what. And then also people can't relate.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, chip on the shoulder is important. Having a chip on a shoulder, right? Where odds were inevitably stacked up against you. Because it was at some point, not for everyone, not for the guy who gets drafted first overall. He's probably been that dude since he was in middle school.
Forever.
Right? Like you probably identified that guy at 10 years old. That was like, holy shit, that's the future number
Pro
one
Bowler,
pick
yep.
and 5-star guy at UT or, you know, wherever. But then there's a guy like that, Brock Purdy, another great example, like was one pick away from not being drafted at fucking all. And, you know, told that you weren't good, you're not big enough, you're not strong enough, you're not fast enough, you're not any of those things, which they needed that to fucking fuel them to become as good or as great as they have become.
Yeah.
And when an addict accepts and lets go and they decide to attack this sober thing, you've had the biggest fucking chip on your shoulder for 10 years. How many ever years? All these years. That chip has just been there.
Yeah.
People giving up on you. People just thinking that you can't do it. And then you do. And it has nothing to do with any of that shit anymore.
Yeah.
Now it has everything to do with showing how badass you are going to be moving forward.
Yeah, we had when Autumn came on a few episodes ago, she talked about like comparing yourself to other people. That's one of my biggest flaws, because for those 10 years, I didn't go up in life. I feel like I went down, way down. And I compare myself to other people that are my same age or that may have had the same opportunities that I had, but they went left and I went right. And now they're so much further in life than where I want to be, or where I am, and I want to be there. And she said that it's important for addicts not to compare yourself to other people, because you're a success by overcoming addiction, period. Doesn't matter if you have all the money and all this or all this. You've literally overcame something that most people die from. And if that person would have went your route, they wouldn't be where they are anyways. So be proud of the success that you are just in overcoming addiction, period. And that's something I learned from somebody that came on this podcast, because that was something I used to beat myself up over, is, man, I should be there and I'm not there because I made a bunch of bad decisions. And I didn't realize that overcoming an addiction, my addiction, was a success all in itself. Like, there's nothing that probably will be put in front of me ever again, aside from like losing someone or losing my daughter, that I can't overcome, because I overcame the hardest obstacle that I've ever had. So that's something I took from her.
Yeah. So I've had thoughts of that as well, man.
Yeah.
So what is success? You know, if you talk to the majority of people who aren't addicts and alcoholics, or just spiritual people, like, success is rated by material things.
Sure.
Right.
You know, but are you truly happy when you get those material things? Because they can be gone like that. And like, you know, if somebody, you have that person that gets everything, you know, they get everything they want, like in high school, then they get to the college that they want, then they marry the woman they've always wanted to have the white picket fence, the career, everything. And then one day something goes south. Those enabling things made them from having to take a look inside and do some internal work, some inner work. So they don't know how to handle that at all. Us, when we get sober, and we actually, it's very freeing when you can actually genuinely sit there and say, yeah, I'm an alcoholic. I've exhausted all my options, whether that's like different substances, any cure for this issue. And gratefully, I made it to this point alive. And they always say, when you know, you know.
Yeah.
That's what's different here.
Yeah.
And like, it's very freeing, but we are some of the best people. Like, I was reading it to my girlfriend earlier, what 4-step inventory is. And I have like these sheets. And I was just sitting there. I was like, dude, everybody could benefit from this.
I say it all the time.
Yeah.
Like, everybody, if you actually want to do better in your career, you do more self-improvement.
Yeah.
If you sit there and grip down and try to like control it at work and stuff, you're trying to direct it and you can't like, yeah. So it's all a matter of like, what's your viewpoint on success?
Yeah.
Yeah. And 9 times out of 10, it really has nothing to do with the material. I mean, just doesn't. And
Byproducts.
right. They're just small little byproducts. The material shit is byproducts of the success that you've had on a personal level, and understanding how fragile it is. Because I got asked this question one time. Some people sit there and they'll ask me a question. They're like, what do you think is the difference between a guy that's got it all together, right? Like house, picket fence, like you just described, or a dude that's under a bridge holding a sign? And I say, I don't think it's a lot at all. I think that is frail. I don't think that guy under the bridge is that far away from that. And I don't think that guy over there is that far away from that. So it took us doing this for me to kind of start thinking about that in a much more grand scale. Like, what do I have around me that makes me happy? That's a thing. Or that, you know, what is it? And it's not. I mean, very little of it is tied up into my Nintendo Switch that I just bought. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Like that all that's doing is giving me a little dopamine hit at night.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm going to put that shit down, and then I got to wake up in the morning and I got a 16-year-old son, 23-year-old daughter, you know, friends around me, girlfriend, stepkids. Like that's the happiness bubble.
Yeah.
Right. The rest of it just can't identify with making that shit part of your everyday going. So tell me how a father changed you. Becoming a father. Sorry. Tell me how that happened.
So I have always been a very self-centered person without even like realizing it. So when my son came out, man, like you hold him for the first time, it is like an experience that you cannot share with anybody. Like, people would tell me this and I'd be like, oh yeah, okay, whatever.
Cool.
Yeah.
But no, it's like, man, it's crazy. And you stop thinking about yourself.
And it's weird.
Yeah.
That's a weird, visceral feeling. It's so weird. Like, to have that taken away from you, you get heavier and lighter at the same time. You just described it kind of perfectly to me. It's like, there's no fucking words for that, man. There's 0 words that you can tell someone how to prepare for a child to come into your life. There's no words for it.
Yeah, man. And you know, like you're like my go-to is pretty much fear of living when I'm in my addiction, and then when I'm sober, it's fear of dying, and like with my son, like it's not about me, man. Like that's Rampage Jackson like has a short where like him and his son are fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, one of the comments says Rampage basically created his best friend,
Yeah.
like molded him into it. That's like the bond me and my son have,
Yeah.
and it's been like really hard not having him, man. And a lot of things like I push down, but subconsciously it's back there, you know. So, yeah, no, it changes you for sure. Anybody, if you have a big heart too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Something I'll share with you is, 'cause you just mentioned not having him, is when I went to rehab, I couldn't see my daughter for that month, right? And then when I got out, the deal that I made with her mother was I wouldn't keep my daughter overnight. I would keep her on the days that I have her. Instead of having her overnight, I could keep her for 2 hours until I was able to pass a hair follicle test, which normally takes 90 days, right? So I went into that thinking, well, I'm already like 45 days sober. That's not going to be so bad. So the first hair follicle test that I took, I had no doubt that I was going to pass it. It wasn't even a thought. And it came back, I failed. So it was like at 96 days, something like that. So she gave me a pass on that one. She said, well, look, take another one in a month. Maybe it just took longer. So I took another one a month later, like 120 something days. And I not only failed for meth, I failed for amphetamine and cocaine. So the second test came back worse than the first one. And the meth that came back was higher than the first test, which made no sense. The lady tried to tell me, like, well, some hair strands hold different than others. But I don't even remember the last time I took amphetamine or cocaine unless it was mixed. But why didn't it come out in the first one? And I remember I was telling him, I was like, man, I said, this makes me just want to say, fuck it, right? I'm doing everything right. And I'm at the point where I'm not doing shit wrong, but it looks like I am, especially from the outside looking in, all the damage that I caused to her. She's probably thinking, this motherfucker's still using for sure. So he helped me with that by saying, look, that's kind of the damage that you caused, and you got to sit in it, right? Just keep doing the right thing, and all the things will come true. And then I took one on month 5. Still fucking failed it again. And the deal I made with her was, instead of taking my daughter from me, let me do a piss test every week, just so you know that I'm not doing shit. So I was doing a pee test every single week and doing a hair follicle on the 5th month. And then I talked to my daughter right before 6 months. She had told me, she said, Dad, I had a dream that July 1st, right? July 1st, which would be 6 months exactly from when I got sober. July 1st, I was going to be able to stay with you. We were going to stay overnight. And I was like, well, Kaylin, it's a great dream, baby, but, you know, if it doesn't, don't be disappointed if it doesn't happen, right? And I took my last drug test like June 26th, 27th. Normally takes like a week or two for it to come back. And I went to a different place to take it because I felt like the other place was all tainted because I don't know how they were coming back bad. And I asked the lady, if y'all could speed it up, I'd really be grateful. She said, well, there's no promises, but we'll try. And I got that test back July 1st, and it was fucking all passed. And I got to go, my daughter's mom called me, and she's like, hey, your test came back. It's all clean. Do you want Kaylin tonight? And I said, fuck yeah, I do. So I went through all that, and it was so hard to just keep the course. And I'm not saying that's not what you're doing, but just know it at the end, everything that we're supposed to have, God's going to give back to us. And that was the best, probably one of the greatest days of my life, being able to get my daughter again. And it made it all so worth it. Like, I wouldn't change any of it. And I wouldn't change those failed tests either, because I grew and I learned something from each one of them.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that helped this podcast to get together, because I was like, well, we can probably do something now.
Yeah, we got to pour our we got to pour our energy into something different. That's kind of when he was on meth. That's when I met him, and he was like, dude, me and you got to do a podcast. We're hilarious. We're funny. We're all. I'm like, I agree with you. I love you to death, but we're not doing a project with you knee deep in a meth addiction. Like, I would say that very silently, right? Like, it's like,
right.
I'm not going to attack a project with you doing the dick and fart jokes.
Hot rails.
Like, yeah, just like talking about God knows what. Like, we got to have some substance.
It's the
to
wrong intention.
Yeah, what we're talking about. So when he got sober, I had the immediate thought, and so did he. He was like, I want to do a podcast about recovery. Now, this is like a week out of there, like where he had the idea. I had the same quiet
Week
idea.
out of rehab. I'm like, I'm fucking ready.
Yeah, and I was
About
like,
10%.
so I was like, okay, well, I mean, I just kept kind of putting it off. And really, I wanted to see him go through something hard in sobriety. That was my benchmark for kind of like this and going like, okay, dude, let's go do it. And it was that day where I actually witnessed him go through that hard ass thing. And then it was like the walls start getting built, man. So I have no doubt, man, that you and your son will be around each other often soon. And just keep putting one foot in front of the other, brother.
Yeah.
And it's all gonna come together. You've overcome a lot. This too shall pass. And it's what I told him, and I'll tell you the same thing, but think about it as a toll. It's the toll that you have to pay. And it sucks to pay a toll, but it's one that was caused by the series of events that have led you to the point where you are, right? And right, wrong, or indifferent, you're here and just got to pay the toll. So sounds like you've hit the other end of this thing. You got a pretty intense story, man. I mean, almost as intense as your rehab stints, or were the actual drugs themselves. It sounds like, So I'll tell you this, man. You're always welcome here. You can come here anytime. Doors always open to you. If you need us for absolutely anything, we're here. And couldn't thank you enough for coming on and sharing what you've shared today.
Appreciate you guys having me on.
For sure.
Yeah, dude, for sure.
Did you keep the teddy bear? I have to ask that.
No, man. Actually, like,
Burned it.
no, funny thing is, in a way, the guy that me and him, like, you have that rival treatment. Well, he ended up getting it after me.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
They passed it on. It was a hand-me-down.
Yeah, so, I mean, yeah.
That's good.
But no, I still, I took care of that TI the best till this day that I know of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's good.
Well, look, brother, you got a teddy bear right now in the form of a 3-year-old boy.
Yep.
Yeah.
So go get it,
Right on, man.
Yeah. So I think we got another one in the books here.
How do people find you?
Yeah, dude.
Social media.
Social media.
Yeah, Instagram, AOB Fitness Coaching at gmail.com.
Okay. And so fitness coaching, let's talk about that, dude. That's important. I want people to reach out to you if we can. We'll put your stuff up there, and can they just direct message you, or do they go to a spot, or?
Yeah, DM me. I'm always open to helping people with it. And then, like anybody dealing with a loved one or themselves with addiction, alcoholism, whatever that might look like. If I can't help, I'll direct in the right direction,
For sure.
Well, it sounds like you can talk about that while working out.
Yep.
That could be a twofer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
You never know.
Little therapy session.
Yeah, a little crazy therapy session.
Essentially, that already happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your listening ear when you're a trainer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hear everything.
Yeah.
So it is a form of therapy.
For sure.
You go to the gym to start lifting weights, and then after a while, the weights start lifting you.
Yeah. There you go.
That's one of the biggest things when I got sober. I was like, all right, once I found myself again, it's like, I don't even know what I like to do anymore. Like I'd always played sports, but I hadn't played sports in 10 years. I'd always went to the gym, but I hadn't worked out. So I had to start figuring out myself again. And the gym is one of the best vices, in my opinion, that anybody can put in life in general. But especially if you went through addiction and you're in recovery, like on my worst days, I tell Destiny, like, I'm going to the gym. I'm going to go to the gym. This will be the second time today, but I need to go and get some shit out of my mind and off my chest. It's one of the best therapies that I have for myself.
Yeah, and then like pickleball too.
Yeah.
Like that's one thing I've had to tone down, man. Like
I was actually impressed when you
full-
came and played. I was like, shit, this guy's fucking good.
Yeah.
This guy's really
Don't
good.
tell me that, dude. Don't tell me that. Go
There
straight
goes
to
he.
the like,
Hey, you suck at pickleball. Dude.
there we go. There we go. Now I got more work to do. All right.
He played against me, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, about 2-3 weeks ago.
We went to a meeting, and then afterwards we did pickleball.
Yeah.
About 20, 30 people show up, and he was playing against me. I was like, fuck, he's good. I was trying to hit it to your partner. I wasn't trying to hit it to you. Like,
It's always in
your
there.
partner was decent too, though. Riley's good.
Yeah. Dude, it was fun, man. Like that is the stuff. It's not the meeting. It's the meeting. It's the meeting before and after the fellowship.
100%.
Because if it's not fun, man, we're not want to do it.
Yeah.
I think that's where a lot of people mess up too, is they skip that fellowship part. I know the first time I got sober, I was like, I'm going to go to all these meetings. I'm gonna fucking give some amazing shares in these meetings. But then I was leaving I didn't introduce myself or find out one person's name in 60 days. Not one time. I didn't get one phone number. I didn't do anything. And on my 60th day, I was relapsing, and then that relapse cost me 4 more years.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge believer that the fellowship is, you have to go in and introduce yourself, because I'm very judgmental too, especially when I see a guy that's in good shape. My first instinct is I will beat the shit out of that guy. I don't care. I don't care if he's in better shape than me. So
I kind of felt that when we
met. One of my buddies told me, he said, when you go into meetings and you start being judgmental, go introduce yourself to those people.
Yep.
And you'll find that you are a piece of shit. They're not. And it never fails. I go introduce myself, and it's like the fucking nicest person I've talked to all day. And I go back to my chair like, damn, I'm a piece of shit. So that's very humbling for me. So I always say, go to meetings, introduce yourself, get phone numbers, give people your phone number. Because you just never fucking know. And that's one thing that I will stop everything that I'm doing. If somebody calls on my phone and it has AA or HA or anything behind their first name, Destiny knows I've got to take this call. Man or woman, doesn't matter. I'm taking this phone call. If I'm busy with my daughter, I will answer and say, hey, is everything okay? Are you in a good place? I'm with my daughter. Can I call you back in 10 minutes? Or if I need to drop what I'm doing for that, if it's an emergency, that I can do that too. I think that's huge. That little circle that you put around you. And then the fellowship's just fun. It just shows you that we can go have fun playing pickleball, and we don't have to be high to do it.
Right.
We don't have to be drunk or high to go do it. Some of the funnest shit that I played volleyball last night for 3 hours. I didn't drink anything. That was fun. That was fun as shit. It's just those things that you got to figure out. You got to fill those voids with something that's going to fulfill you. Ooh, that sounded good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's smooth, man. Yeah, I know. Like one thing I'll say, like the funny thing, you got the old timers in the room, and you got people that are judging other people, and then you're judging them for judging other people.
Oh, for sure.
Figured that out.
100%. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, you touched the. Yeah, that was good, man. Like talking about, Yeah, I'm the asshole that's not going up to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, I'll work on that, man.
Yeah. Yep. There you go. Well, good deal. Well, we're gonna have you sign our wall.
Yeah, gonna
Cool.
And then we're
snap some
gonna take some
pictures,
pictures.
and we'll get this one in the books, man. But we were honored to have you on, and we'd love to see you come back anytime you want.
Cool.
All right.
Awesome. I appreciate it, guys.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
brother.
Yep.
We're out.
We're out. Peace out. Love you, Seth and Joe.